Hello. You are listening to the Grieving Parents Sharing Hope podcast. We are here to walk with parents on their unwanted journey of child loss, guiding them to a place of hope, light, and purpose, not in spite of their child's death, but as a way to honor his or her life. And now, here is your host, author, speaker, and bereaved parent, Laura Deal.
Hi, thank you once again for joining me today. I love how God seems to meet me so often through his creation. I don't know about you, but he does for me. And one of the things that I loved about being on the road in the Hope Mobile was being blessed to see so much of it all around the nation. There was one year we were parked in the San Diego area, and the campground was in a valley that was surrounded by mountains. And several mornings I would go for a walk. Now, every time I took a path leading out of the campground, it would end up going up one of those mountains. The first one was more like a hill, really. It was small, but when I reached the top, I had a nice view. The next day, I climbed a much higher one. I took a path that went up a different mountain. I didn't even realize how high I was getting until I reached the top and I looked out at the beautiful view of the campground below and the bigger mountains that were all around me. And then came another day. I found myself climbing. I was going a different direction and I ended up going up a path that went up a different mountain. And the climb seemed to go on, and it was doing a lot of curves and meandering, and I was getting really tired. And so I kept hoping that this path would eventually meet up with the one that I had taken before, and it would take me back down to the campground in a much straighter route than the one I was going up. And so I would let me go around the next curve, see if there's a path there that will take me back down. And I kept going. But instead, I ended up at the very top of this mountain, and I looked over and I saw that the top of the mountain that I had climbed before was way down below me because I could see where I had been standing and some of the things that were around me. So I knew I was looking down, way down at the mountain I had climbed. I think it was really just the day before. And I had no idea that I had gone that much higher. The campground now was far down in the valley, and the view around me was absolutely breathtaking. And as I looked around, this happened on that smaller mountain, but this time, man, I was just in such awe of God's majesty and his power. And those kinds of things, the thoughts come to me, Lord, if you created all of this, then you can take care of me. And it was one of those moments where being in the awe of the beauty and just the bigness, the vastness around me, the beauty of creation, it reminds me of the Creator's love and strength. And I found myself at the top of that mountain worshiping, singing to him, just giving him everything that was on my heart before I started making my way back down. Now, sometimes as we traveled, we would end up close to an ocean and be able to spend time at the beach, which I love to do. I like to look out over all of that water and how there's no end to it because it always seems to remind me of how great our God really is. There's a scripture, I didn't look it up, but it talks about how his love is so wide and deep as the ocean, and the power of those waves are just a small show of the power of the one who made them. Looking up at the heavens at night can have the same effect for me. When I travel, especially when I did international traveling for children's ministry, I would take a picture of the moon. You know how sometimes you'll see it out during the day, and I would send it to my granddaughter, reminding her that even though I'm thousands of miles away, we are still seeing the same moon. This past week, as I was on an airplane looking down at the clouds, they were both above me and they were below me, and seeing the world 32,000 feet underneath us, once again, I could not help but think about how big God really is to have made all of this and so much more, like the moon and the stars and all the other planets. When I see these things that remind me how vastly big God is, it helps me to remember that he is able to take care of me. even through the darkest storms of my life. And believe it or not, He is taking care of you too. There's a verse in Psalm 121 that says, I look to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. When we pause long enough to look around, even just stepping outside for a few minutes, we can feel that reminder that the same God who made the mountains, the stars, the ocean, the sun, is the same God who is holding you right now. You might not see it, you might not feel it, but He has you in the palm of His hand, and He is not letting go. He is walking this journey with you. And even though you can't see the full plan, He can. Now, back to traveling in the Hope Mobile. There was another time we were parked somewhere that had a beautiful river nearby. And as I would walk along a path that was beside the water, I was struck at how that path would sometimes move away from the river to where I couldn't see it at all. Sometimes I could still hear it, but not always. And then through the trees, I might catch a glimpse of the river. And other times, I would lose sight of it completely. And then all of a sudden, the full river would be in view again. And it reminded me of hope, because in those early months and years after the death of our child, hope seems like a lot like that river. Sometimes we can't see it at all, and we wonder if it's even there anymore. And then maybe just for a moment, something happens, a memory, a word, something that gives us a small comfort, and we catch a glimpse of hope again, and then it disappears. And later, maybe when we least expect it, we see it more fully again. I feel like hope flows like that river. It's always there, even when we can't see it. And it made me think about the sun too. The sun is always there, even when we can't see it or feel its warmth. Whether it's on the other side of the earth, whether it's behind clouds, it's still always there. And in the same way, hope is always there, because the seed of hope, Jesus Himself, lives inside us. When a seed is planted, it takes time to break open, to push its way through the dark soil before it can be seen. And I am so confident that the seed of hope that is planted inside you is doing that exact thing. It's breaking open where you may not be able to see it, so that it can push its way through the darkness of grief, slowly reaching toward the light. You may not see it yet, but it's there. As we keep walking through our grief one step at a time, sometimes even one breath at a time, there will come a day when we realize we're doing better than we ever thought we could or would. And I believe you will look back and see that even though it didn't feel like it, you've been climbing one step at a time all along. If you're tired right now, that's okay. Take a break. Sit for a while if you need to, but don't give up. Keep walking. Keep climbing. There will come a day when you'll be able to look back and say, wow, look at how far I've come. I didn't realize I had been climbing that high. Some parts of our journey are gradual, like those gentle inclines on a trail. Some are steep and rocky, where we have to just stop and catch our breath. But even those times, I remember when I would be climbing that really big hill that I didn't realize I was going so high up on, I would have to stop and catch my breath. And as I did, I would look around. And the beauty around me, even as I had to stop and rest, was amazing. When we do reach those mountaintop moments where we can see beauty and feel joy again, or maybe it's just when you're resting, but you catch some beauty around you, it's worth every hard step we take. And yet, as wonderful as those mountaintop moments are, we don't live there permanently, do we? Even before our child died, we know life is full of mountains and valleys, mountains and valleys. And really, when we come back down to the valley, it doesn't mean that we're back in a place of hopelessness, because when we think about it, a lot of life happens in the valleys. We're just the ordinary days mixed together. It's not necessarily bad, but it's just the ordinary day-to-day stuff. It's the hard and the good, the pain and the laughter, and that's okay. Being in the valley doesn't mean you've lost progress. It just means you're living life again in all of its ups and downs. You have already faced one of the hardest things anyone can face, the death of your child, and you're still here. I know you may not want to be, but you're here and you are walking, taking one tiny step at a time. It may feel like one step forward and 3 steps back. I know it did for me a lot those first 2 or 3 years. But the same God who walked with you through your darkest valley will meet you again on a mountain someday. And he is with you as you take each step. 2 Timothy 2:13 says, even when we are too weak to have any faith left, he remains faithful to us and will help us. Even when you can't hold on to him, he is still holding on to you. Maybe right now, all you can do is take one small step. Maybe you're frozen in place and you don't feel like you're taking any steps. That's okay, because God is not asking you to climb a whole mountain today, just to take one step forward, one day at a time. And before you know it, you'll be able to look back and see how far you've come when you didn't realize it. Several years ago, I wrote a song called I Keep Walking, and it came from those times when I couldn't see or hear God, like that river that disappeared and reappeared along the trail. I talk about that river in the song. You know, when I talked about the sun that you can't see, I put that in the song. I know there are days when many bereavers wonder if he is even still around. But eventually, little glimpses of him, a word, like I said, a memory, a sunrise, something we totally don't expect, can remind us that he is still there with us. And that's what this song is about. It's about learning to trust that God is still with us, even when we can't feel him, we can't see him, and all he is asking is that we keep walking one step at a time. So I want to share that song with you right now. Here's that song, I Keep Walking. You are water like a stream in the woods, as I am walking in this place of grief. Sometimes I can see you clearly, and the beauty I see gives me so much hope in my future. I lose sight of the stream, but I keep walking. Then I hear a sound and get a glimpse that the stream is still there, so I keep walking. When out of nowhere, the river is there again, in all of its beauty, and I am full of hope again. I'm reminded that he promised to lead me beside still waters and restore my soul, and I keep walking, I keep walking. You are light like the sun in the sky, as I am walking in this place of grief. And sometimes I can see you clearly, and the warmth I feel gives me so much hope in my future. The storm clouds come, but I keep walking. Then a ray slips through the clouds and I can see that the sun is still there, and I keep walking. When out of nowhere, this full sun bursts through again, in all of its warmth, and I am full of hope again. I'm reminded that he promised to lead me, to be my light on any dark path. Remind me of your love. Remind me that your grace and mercy are following me as I keep walking. Remind me that you're here. Remind me this world is not my permanent home, and I'll keep walking. I'll keep walking. You are water like a stream in the woods. You are light like the sun in the sky. Sometimes I can see you clearly, and it causes me to have so much hope in my future. So I'll keep walking, keep walking. If I can't see you, I'll keep walking. When I can't feel you, I'll keep walking, because I know you are here. So I'll keep walking. When I listen to that song, I, myself, am reminded again that even when we can't see what's ahead, or we can't feel God's presence like we used to or like we want to, we can still take the next small step. So let's keep walking and taking those steps together. So I shared the one song with you. I actually a few years ago made a CD of several of the songs that I've written, and there's a song that Becca wrote on there called Before the Throne. There's another song called Jesus Never Fails. It's kind of like my life song. I learned it in high school, and I've been singing it ever since. If you're interested in hearing more of my music, you can check out the samples of each song. I'll put the URL in the show notes where you can go to hear those samples. Otherwise, go to gpshope.org, check out the resources, and there's a resource tab, and you can click on the CD. That will take you to the page where you can hear samples of it. And you can also, anywhere you listen to music pretty much, Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you can type in my name. The CD is called Together Forever. So it's kind of weird. I think it's weird that I'm on all these music platforms. It's nothing big, but if you want to check it out, it's there. So I also want to remind you, if you have the Bible's Grieving Parents book, the new book that was just released, please go to Amazon or Goodreads, give it a rating and a review. It's not for me. It's for other parents, other bereavers who are looking for the same hope that you have received in, looking at parents in the Bible who've lost a child, and the comfort and the hope and the faith that we can receive from them. So there'll be a link to that in the show notes as well. Just take a few minutes and give a rating and review to help other parents find that book. And then the last thing I want to remind you about is the Grief Cruise. It's happening in February. This will be the fourth time Dave and I have been a part of it. It is wonderful. I know grief and cruise sounds like an oxymoron. How do you put those two together? Go to the webpage, gpshope.org/cruise. It will tell you how those two things can come together. They are wonderful to experience, so check it out. And with that, let's go ahead with this week's birthday segment. Mitchell Ang was born on October 12th and left us at age 17. Pike Peterson was born on October 17th and left us at age 14. Alicia Martin was born on October 17th and left us at age 36. We celebrate the day these children came into the world. It will always be a day worth celebrating. If you would like to have your child's birthday shared with the other listeners, I would love to be able to do that for you. Just go to gpshope.org/birthdays. Just fill out the information needed, submit it, and your child will be added to the birthday segment the week of his or her birthday. Dave will also send you an email to remind you to listen that week so you can hear your child's name shared. I will also put a link to that in the show notes. Grief can make the path feel long and steep. But the truth is, we are not climbing alone. And I'm not just talking about myself or maybe other bereavers you might know. God is with us. He is steadying our steps. He's giving us strength when we feel like we don't have anything left. And He's reminding us that hope is still alive inside us because Jesus is alive inside us. So, if all you can do today is breathe, that's okay. If all you can do is take one tiny step, that's okay too. Each small step matters because they're going to keep adding together, carrying you forward into more measures of healing and light, eventually where your life will have meaning and purpose again. And that's not in spite of your child's death, but it's because of his or her life and their life that mattered. So where are you in this journey? Where do you feel like you are climbing up this mountain? Do you feel like you're trying to mountain climb and claw your way up and you keep falling to the bottom? Do you feel like maybe you've kind of started up the mountain and you stopped and maybe you're seeing a little bit of the view? Or where are you along this river? Do you feel like you see hope and then you don't see hope? I would love to hear from you. Let's have a conversation about this. Most of us listen to podcasts on a podcast app. This is on the website. And so what I'm going to do is put a link in the show notes that will take you right to where this is on our website. Just scroll down, put in your comments. Let me know where you are in this journey, either by the river or climbing up the mountain. And let's talk about this, where you are. Let me just close by saying it may not seem like it, but you are moving forward one day, one step, maybe it's even one breath at a time, but you are moving forward, especially if the seed of hope is in you. So hold on. Pain eases. There is hope.